Welcome to day 6 of the CFL free agency special. I'm your host, Emmanuel Pointier, and today we are moving out east and starting with the Ottawa Redblacks. And for Ottawa, it was really about continuity, bringing guys back to the team instead of going out and getting names. But they still got some big names in free agency, and I'll get to that in a little bit. But let's start with their re-signings, and we start with quarterback Dustin Crum. I just remember Dustin Crum for that 2 game stretch he had a couple of years ago where he was just fantastic. Everyone was calling him Crum Dog Millionaire, and he had some great comebacks, which was named the Crumback and all of that, and then kind of went nowhere. But it was a great time to be a CFL fan when Dustin Crum was, coming back from all these games and then nothing. But it was a good time. So Dustin Crum is back in the fold. He'll probably be the, I would think, third string quarterback in Ottawa. Wide receivers Braylon Addison and Justin Hardy. That's going to be a really good receiving core. And there's a guy that they added in free agency that just bolsters up that receiving core even more. Offensive lineman Darius Bladdock. Defense, you have defensive lineman Lorenzo Malden, Michael Wakefield, and Bryce Carter. So they brought all of their guys back on that defensive line that was really good last year. I mean, early on when they were winning these games at a really good record, it was because of that defense, and they're getting so much pressure with the three of these guys that they re-signed. And they're going to be absolutely dangerous on that defensive line. So if you don't have a good offensive line and you're playing Ottawa, good luck. Good luck, because this is now a really good D line. Linebacker Javon Santos Knox. Defensive backs Adarius Pickett, which was important for them to resign, and Alonzo Adai. And then returner Devontae Dedman, who is probably the best returner in the CFL right now. It's him or Janarian Grant, one of the two, but Devontae Dedman, he is really good in the return game, and it's what sets up Ottawa with this good field position every single time, every single year, every single game. It feels like they have great field position, and it's because of Devontae Dedman. He's one of the best in the game. So a lot of guys re-signing with the Ottawa Redblacks, coming back to the team, and it feels like they focused on continuity in free agency. Now let's get to their additions, who they signed, because they signed some very important players that'll be real key players next season. We start with quarterback Matthew Schultz. With the loss of Jeremiah Masoli, now Schultz becomes number 2 there in Ottawa behind Drew Brown. Running back William Stanback, and they struggled at the running back position last year. They had to release Raquel Armstead, and they really didn't get that production I think they wanted from the running back position. William Stanback will certainly help with that. He had over 1,000 yards last season with BC, and he's trying to transfer that over to Ottawa. Injuries will only be the real concern with William Stanback, but he did stay healthy last year, so he's hoping to again have a 1,000-yard season this year. Wide receiver Eugene Lewis, probably the biggest signing from Ottawa this free agency. He again will just bolster up that receiving core. He's still a really good receiver. Had over 1,000 yards for the majority of his career playing in Montreal and then going to Edmonton and now in Ottawa. I think that's going to continue. He is just, man, he is one of the best receivers in the game. Offensive lineman Peter Godber. Defensive backs Tunde Adeleke and Robert Priester. So adding to that defensive back unit, and that's going to be a very scary defense next season. And then getting to their losses, obviously we talked about quarterback Jeremiah Masoli, who left to BC and will back up Nathan Rourke. Wide receiver Dominic Grimes, who went to Calgary to join VA, but they did get Eugene Lewis. Wide receiver Jalen Acklin, who retired. Linebacker Adam O'Clair. And then defensive backs, Brandon Dandridge, who got released, has yet to sign with the team, and Damon Webb, who went to Calgary. So overall, very good free agency for Ottawa. Their goal was probably to bring back a lot of their own guys, and that's exactly what they did. They got better at some positions defensively and offensively. And going into next year, they hope they can improve off of what they did last season, which they surprised me and a lot of other people when they made it to the playoffs. They were in the East semifinal, lost to Toronto, trying to improve on that this season with Drew Brown at the helm there. But I hope you enjoyed this episode of the free agency special. Ottawa fans, let me know what you think about this free agency down below in the comment section. And we'll see you tomorrow to do the Montreal Alouettes free agency. But until then, I hope you enjoy the rest of your Saturday, and we will see you tomorrow for day 7. Yeah, day 7 of the free agency special. So until then, peace.